People. Que pasa, suck, passe, what they do. Welcome to Crime Time News, where the difference is in the meds. Call it news with a buzz. First thing that is popping in the news, it is called the remix. The remix, it was not me. The remix, Pirates of the Caribbean. The remix of Alibaba and the 40 Thief. Who did it? Which part Bolt money there? Now people, we've heard the top heads of that Ponzi scheme SSL come out and them claim say, me no know nothing about the money there. You have to ask somebody else. I was not aware that Usain Bolt had any sorts of account. Me never see it. Me never touch it. Me no know which part it there. I don't even know about its existence. Those persons, I am speaking about Zachary Harding. I am speaking about Mr. Krosky, Hugh. I am speaking about his son. May I talk about the daughter. And I am also speaking about the scapegoat. Not a scapegoat in the truest sense of the word. However, she is a thief nonetheless. So people, the latest thing is that, you know that the government, the Minister of Finance, he had somebody really overseeing FSC right now. And within a couple of days, they have made a breakthrough. It is said that, yes, confirmed, Mr. Bolt had an account with SSL. However, Mr. Bolt, assistant manager, representative also, formed a company that is located in Saint Lucia. That is a LLC, where they transferred in excess of $6 million, almost $7 million to that account. $6 million one time, and then about $900,000 a next time. So people, if we do the maths, according to what Usain Bolt said, he deposited about $10 million. He said they owe him $12.7 million based on the interest that he would have gained in those 10 years or so. So therefore, based on what the investigators found thus far, it is about $7 million. So therefore, which part, the 3-point-something million there that was missing, if my maths is correct, and also the profit or the interest that he would have gained. Now people, remember, these are just the investigators that the government put in, and them find that within a couple of days. So therefore, what was the CEO doing? So much money, so much investor them have that have in excess of $10 million investing in their company that Bolt's name was never noticed. People, something definitely wrong. However, you and I know exactly what is going on. Like me say, this is the remix. It wasn't me. So people, I am going to let you take a listen, take a look to a voice note kind of explaining everything. Well, not everything. However, the latest findings. Take a listen, take a look, and then I'll give my piece.
We are also learning that apparently the account that the finance minister told the country this morning at SSL, owned by Mr. Bolt, the funds were depleted by 2017. Yes, the funds in that account were depleted by 2017. Yes, get the timeline right. The account was opened sometime in 2012 and managed by Jean PANTON and overseen by a former member of Mr. Bolt's management team. And what the investigators are now seeking to assure themselves of was whether the signature on the withdrawals were authentic, were really those of an ex-member of Mr. Bolt's management team, whether that signature was indeed genuinely that of a former member of Mr. Bolt's management team. That is what they're trying to ascertain. I gather they have also been able to trace at least one of the withdrawn sums to an account at SSL belonging to a former member of Mr. Bolt's management team, who managed the accounts between 2012 and now, and to the point in 2017 when the funds were largely depleted in terms of the activities in the account. No more than about $5 or $6 million were passed through the account. Not the 12.7 million we are told, as at October 2022.
One document confirms that Bolt's investment at SSL was under the business name WellGen Limited. WellGen's business address is noted as First Floor, Bourbon Street, P.O. Box 1695 in Castries, Saint Lucia. The document to register WellGen Limited as a client of SSL bears the names and signatures of two individuals with close ties to Mr. Bolt. That registration document was witnessed, reviewed, and approved by officials at SSL on April 25, 2012. Our news center will only reveal at this time that the name on the SSL, the name of the SSL official who signed as a witness to the registration of WellGen as a client affixed her name as Jean Ann P. The documents raise even more questions about how client accounts were managed at SSL. They also raise the serious question as to whether the Sprint legend was betrayed by members of his inner circle. More in this report. The documents we've obtained don't just purport to show how the alleged fraud was perpetrated against Usain Bolt. They go further by providing granular detail about just how it was done. If you thought that Bolt's account had cash lying in it, and that fraudsters simply removed the cash over time, you would have thought wrong. From the documents, Bolt's investment was tied up in some of the most valuable stocks in the world. The investments include blue-chip stocks like Alphabet, which is the parent company of Google. It also includes Apple, Amazon, Berkshire Hathaway, and Meta Platforms, which is the parent company of social media giant Facebook. Our documents show 10 transactions between August 12, 2021 and February 3, 2022, where 191 units of the mentioned blue-chip stocks were transferred from Bolt's account to another account at SSL. The documents show the number and name on the recipient account. That same account, with the same number and name, received all 10 transactions from Bolt's account over the 6-month period. We will call that account TT using the initials of the name on the account. So, who authorized the transfer of Bolt's blue-chip stocks worth thousands of US dollars to the TT account? Well, one of the individuals who signed the document registering Bolt's account with SSL was the person who purportedly authorized all 10 transactions. That individual, on July 13, 2021, August 10, 2021, September 13, 2021, September 27, 2021, and February 1, 2022, wrote 5 emails to Jean and PANTON authorizing the transfer of Bolt's blue-chip stocks to the TT account. Curiously, none of those emails was sent to Jean and Panton's work email, jpanton@sslinvest.com. Instead, all of them were sent to Jean and Panton's personal email, a Hotmail account. From the documents, It appears those emails were then forwarded to PANTON's SSL email and then sent to what appears to be another one of her personal email addresses, this time a yahoo.com account. In summary, instructions to transfer blue chip stocks from Bolt's account to another account at SSL were bounced around 3 email accounts associated with Jean and PANTON, only one of which was her official work email. The 5 equity transfer request forms used by Jean and PANTON to facilitate the movement of Bolt stocks has a space where a service supervisor or head of sales is supposed to sign and authenticate the transactions. But while PANTON's name appears on all 5 forms, none of them is signed by a service supervisor or head of sales.
Now, people, this story has more twist and turn, ups and downs, ebb and flow. This is definitely what we call a roller coaster ride. Now, people, if you remember, at the end of 2022, Bolt and his manager, Norman Peart, they parted way. If you also remember, when Miss Jean Ann PANTON put out the list of the persons that she swindled, the persons that she took money from, Bolt's ex-manager, recently dismissed, parted way manager, was one of those persons. The picture is on your screen as we speak. That is the amount right there. So people, one thing about accounting, if you know maths, it is simple. Add and plus what you own versus what you owe. So therefore, it has to always balance. So therefore, based on the facts that we are now knowing, it is said that this account was opened in 2012. Based on what they are saying, up until 2017, that account was depleted. The word depleted means that nothing not did it. There is nothing there. Remember, there was some sorts of paperwork claiming say a 12,000 left. That means say it jump or drop from 12.7 million to 12,000 to now nothing is not there. Nothing not did it, none at all. Now when we think and consider, how is it that this money was found in Saint Lucia? The answer to that is simple. Not saying that Bolt had any part of the decision-making process, but me just tell you what happens with a LLC, think it is Limited Liability Company. Remember, Saint Lucia is a tax haven. People set up all sorts of company and then shell company. So therefore, if you are a smuggler, if you are somebody that is rich and trying to avoid paying those high taxes in your country, whether it's United States or whether a Jamaica, you set up a company and then all of your assets is in that company. So therefore, you get some sorts of tax break. When you are a millionaire, it works out for you because you save millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I am speaking about US dollars or even pounds, if that is what you are saving in. Now, based on what they are saying, the 2 signatures are the persons that can sign on this account. They were Jean PANTON, that is the wealth advisor from SSL, more than likely learning from her bosses, meaning Mr. Harding, meaning Mr. Krosky. They would have known the art, or she would have known the art of hiding money because she learned from the best thieves in the industry. So what these people are saying, she was the manager, she managed the account, and then Norman Pearce was the overseer. He oversee the accounts. People, we know who they are talking about when they say Bolt's manager. He has two managers, a personal manager, NJ, that he's now in business with, and the person that pretty much boss Bolt in the track and field thing, bring him from Trelawney, get him apartment, promote him, did whatever he had to do. He played a very important part in Bolt's success without a shadow of a doubt. So the question we have to ask, was his signature forged? Was he a part of the conspiracy? And if he was, why would Miss PANTON also rob from him? People, in my opinion, Mr. Peart had nothing to do with it. However, I don't know Mr. Peart, and we've seen Stranger Thing, and we know say them have a song say them woman are wicked, them wicked, them wicked. However, it can apply to mankind, meaning her body, everybody that is. The funny thing is that Bolt was not one of the persons that could sign on the accounts, and people, that is for obvious reasons. Bolt did not know what was going on in his money. Bolt had zero idea that was going on with his money. Now people, one thing that we've all realized from this whole exposure started is that nobody wants to take responsibility. Nobody wants to be held accountable. You know that song there from back in the days, a staggerly stole the cookie from the cookie jar. Everybody had played the blame game. Everybody has said it was not me. Nobody knows any sorts of thing. However, here is the facts. When Bolt went to deposit his money, he went to a specific company. That company was SSL. SSL, through its manager, its representative, being Jean-Ann PANTON, that was hired by that company. So therefore, that company is still liable and responsible for whatever Jean-Ann PANTON did with Bolt's money. They should have known who they hire, even though you really can't know when you hire somebody. Who would have thought that a lady that comes from a good home, father a pastor, mother very respectable lady in our community, that she would have turned out to be worse than Cash Plus, worse than Olent, worse than WorldNet, worse than everybody put together. Not saying that the amount is more, maybe it is, but me just say, the heart, the wickedness, the deception in which this lady, the things that she did, only in a movie, only in some sorts of book, you can see something like this. It is so despicable. One would not even understand or conceive or dream it up. This is like the worst nightmare, especially as it pertains to Usain Bolt and his team. At the end of the day, they are responsible. Based on information, it is said that the lawyer is supposed to make some sorts of interview, some sorts of statement very soon. People, we will keep you posted. Thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like this, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. Point blank and period.